Good evening everyone, Gav here. I'm just gonna show you, I haven't got a big budget by getting my tackle shop to service all my reels all the time, things like that. So this is gonna be my first attempt. I'm gonna have a go myself. I will show you how I'm gonna do it, any tips that I could do to make it better, anything I'm doing wrong, just give me a shout. Send us a message, any way possible. Just helps us out, or it maybe give you an idea on how to do it yourself if you've never took one apart before. So yeah, the video is going to be me servicing the reel. So it's a Witchwood Riot Big Pit 75. I've got 3 of them fitted with the Witchwood DPF 15-pound fluorocarbon line. I've also got 3 spare spools with these, which has got the quarter sub line 15-pound as well, mono line. So I'm going to show you how I service it. If you just want to, I might stop at times when it's cleaning all the grease out and stuff like that. I know it's going to be full in there, but I'll keep you posted on what I'm doing. So the grease I bought is Penn Precision grease off Amazon, £5, not too expensive, so can't really complain. But yeah, follow the rest of the video, guys. Right guys, so this is my reel. This is my Witchwood Riot Big Pit 75 with the DPF line installed. So the grease I'm using is just a little bit of Penn Precision Reel grease, blue in colour. I'm just going to apply it with a little brush that I've got. So yeah, I've been playing about with it a bit. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to start by taking the spool off. Get that out of the way first. Please bear in mind this is my first chance at doing this, and this is my first video, so alright, so that's that off. The idea key for me is I'm just going to lay everything out as neat as I possibly can, so when it comes to putting it back together it's in some sort of order and things like that, just so you know where everything is. Everything's nice and neat. I'll show you when it's completely stripped how I've done it and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's that. I'm assuming this comes out of here as well. It's got a little washer behind it, so as you can see, just gonna, take that out of there. That's just all attached to the washer. And inside there, look, we've got a little screw. So I think by the looks of it then, it's going to be a case of taking the bail arm off first. So let's get in there, undo that screw. Put that down there. Let's get let's just check what size socket that is. It looks about 12 or 13 to me, so we try a 12mm first. I've got deep sockets, so I know it's going to be down the barrel. That's it. So it's a 12mm socket. Let's just undo that. Oh, that's tightening it. Oh, so these are actually the opposite way. So you tighten it to loosen it off, which is quite weird, really. It's not a common thing. Normally you'd say lefty loosey, but yeah, so that one's the opposite way. So if you're ever doing your own, just remember that the nut tightens the opposite way. Doesn't look like anything else is in there, so let's go ahead and see if we can yeah, so that pulls straight off. So that's it. So I know you've got a mechanism in there which comes open when you use the bail arm. So what I might do at the end is I might just open this. It's working fine, but I might just open these sides and just put a bit of grease in there if it needs it or anything like that. So let's put that out of the way. So next, I'm going to take the handle off next, so it's a bit easier to. Oh, that's a bit tight. Alright, so there we go. That was a bit tight. Don't know how strong I am sometimes. But yeah, so I'm just putting everything neat. So that's that undone. Slide that out of the way, put that down there. take the handle out. The handle's now gone floppy, so we'll take that out the other side. That obviously goes through there on some sort of bearing system. So so next we're gonna, as you can see, there's a screw there, a screw there, a screw there, and a screw there. So I'm just gonna undo them 4 next. See if that then releases. It looks like there's another one there, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but I'll open it up first. Let's undo these 4. Put nice and neat so I don't lose anything. That's the worst thing I could possibly do, lose a screw and spend half an hour searching for it. It's a little bit tight. That one's alright. This one feels like it may have already been open at some point. I have got a bigger flat blade screwdriver just there, which I'll use in a minute on that one. That one's a little bit tight. But we'll undo this one first. And this one over here, see if this one will catch it. Yep. Worst thing you can do is round it off, so if it feels a bit loose, just change it, change the screwdriver, get a bigger one, smaller one, flat blade, whichever one you need. So that's that one going into there. So then I'm just gonna crack this one with the flat blade. There we go. That one was just a little bit tighter, that's all. I should be able to do that with a finger tight now. No, it's still a bit tight, that one. That's that off there. So let's have a, it still feels like it's catching somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one at the back out, see what this reveals. It might not reveal anything, but we'll take it out anyway. Put that out of the way. That then, yeah, that then slides up and off this way. Yeah, so it's just clipped in the bottom there. Oh, so that's, right, I see. So that's clipped into there, but that's also attached to this. So let's just loosen this off. This is your, obviously, back wind. We'll take that out of the way, we'll put that there. So that should then, that should all slide off together then, I'd have thought. Let's have a look. Ah, there we go. Fish is starting to come now. So it still seems a little bit tight, so there must be something else behind there. But that one's come out now, okay. So we just move that out of the way. That's that little one over there. So this one must come off as well. Just get a little screwdriver behind there, see if I can pop it out. So it looks like it's a little bit tight in there. I don't know why. That bit's loose, but it's just not peeling this bit off. So unless that's attached through there. So let's see if oh, there's another screw in the handle there. Ah, there we go. So there's another screw through the handle, which that's that little one there. So that's through the handle there. So then that, there we go. So yeah, so you've got a screw through the handle there, look, that's got that bit there, comes straight through, and then that all lot bottom comes off. So on doing that, I've noticed there is an extra screw. So it's hid underneath. So let's undo that. All I'm using to clean it up with, I've just got some rags and some baby wipes. So don't know how good they're going to be, whether they're going to be okay cleaning it, but baby wipes usually good for everything else, so we'll give it a go. Let's see if that pulls apart now. Right, there we go. We're into the internals. So obviously that bearing that's on there, that must sit. So it's a little bit rusty, so I might give that a little bit of grease as well. And there's a washer just there, look. See them two washers? So let's put them back inside there so we don't lose them. And the same way around it they go. So there's your two. They stay on there. So let's leave them there. And then that just comes out. So that's another one there. Look, oh, it's not got much grease in there, to be honest. I thought there'd be a bit more than that. But that bearing's come out the other side, so we'll just push that back in. That side's got no washers right with it, so that side must just be as it comes. But yeah, so I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause the video for a moment. I'm gonna clean all that out, and then I'll resume the video with where I'm at once it's all clean. So just bear with me, guys, and I'll be back in a mo. Right, guys, so I've just spent about 5 minutes just cleaning that out the best I can. So I've got the majority of the grease out there. The bearing, I've had a little look at the bearing seems fine. But if you're unsure, just pop the bearing out. There's no washers out on that side, so that'll just pop out and you can have a look, see what the bearing condition's like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of grease, blue stuff. I'm going to do the bottom bit here. I believe that you can never put too much grease in, so I'm just gonna pile it in. I mean, for £5, I'd sooner my reel be working well than not be, so I'm not worried about how much I put in here. Let's try and get it nice and smooth. So if I put that in there, I'm just gonna then wind that back down. So it's gonna go all the way up first, get some of that grease around there. Oh, let's get some on the back of there as well as it comes down. Get some in there. Wind that all the way down to the bottom, I think. So then I can get the rest of that shaft in there. Get all this in there. Get it all packed in. Nice and covered in the blue grease. Like I say, this never ever, one thing I've always been told, guys, never ever use WD-40. WD-40 is a penetrating oil. If you've got a seized bearing, then yes, fair enough, take the bearing out, put a bit of WD on it, try and free the bearing off. Ideally get a new one. It's not worth the risk. You may as well just get a new one. But if you can't get a new one and you need to free your bearing off, then yeah, use WD on that. But I was then told by a guy on Facebook, which was great advice, told me to get this grease. This grease seems to work really well in here. It's going in nice enough. So yeah, I'm going to just cover it everywhere. Never have too much, I don't think. Keep twisting that around, getting that back up. Keep putting more grease in there. So that'll be nice and full. Let's get a nice big chunk in there to finish it off. Just put that at the top there. I mean, you can never have too much grease, can you? Never have too much. So yeah, let's get that all in there. Let's put a bit on this shaft as well in case it needs any for twisting in and out of there for your back wind. I might even put a bit on this side of the bearing just to be on the safe side. Took a bit upside this side of the barrel. So yeah, it's right, that's completely full. I'm then gonna put some grease on this, on these teeth here. This is obviously the bit that I took out the top earlier on. So I'm gonna hold the bottom. I'm gonna put a bit of grease in these. Again, I'm not gonna expense spared on the grease. I don't know how much they cost in the shops. I think it's about 30-40 quid for a reel service. So all I bought is some grease. Everything else in the reel works fine. I just want to give it a bit more lube. Yeah, for the sake of that, it's not even, you may as well pile it in there. So 2 ounce pot this is from Amazon, the grease. So 2 ounce pot, about 5 quid or something like that. This brush ain't very good, to be fair. It's a bit soft, but it will do the job. So I'll put a bit on there, a bit on the bearings. They're going to slide into the bearings, aren't they? So I'll then put that back inside there, inside that bearing, like that. It didn't have any grease on this side, but I'm going to put a little bit on the shaft anyway, just in there, just where that bearing's going to sit, just to give it that extra little bit. But that's piled inside there, piled high. So that's that side of things. Right then, so let's start. I've had a little nosy round inside this reel. I think that top bit there, if you open that up, there's another bearing inside there, so that's for your back wind at the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna assemble that back together now. So bear in mind, obviously, the washers that you had on this piece, don't forget about those. So obviously it goes that way round, so I'm gonna actually take them out and I'm gonna put them on the pulley first, just to be on the safe side. So it goes on there. That's just like a little sheave, that one is. Oh, I'm covered in grease, aren't I now? Never mind. And then that one then. And then that one. Oh. And that one just inside there. So that's how they go. I'm just gonna pop this bearing out a minute. Just have a little look at it. There we go. Make sure everything's all right with it. Yeah, the bearing's nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my rag back. I'm just going to clean the outside of this bearing up before I put it back in. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of grease in it, just to, I don't know, it might not help the bearing, but you never know. Let's just put a bit in there. And just drop that back into this. There we go, and that one clips back in. So just as a precaution as well, I'm also going to put, I know I probably don't need to, and I'm going overboard, but I'm just going to put a bit of grease inside here, just to help out anything inside there that needs any rotary movements. And I'm probably just going a bit overboard with it, but I'd sooner go overboard than and then not worry about it after. So then let's put that back on there. Right, so that's that in there like that. So that's all clipped back together. I have got a bit of excess grease come through there, so I am going to just scoop that out, I think. Clean it out with the rag. I've got quite a few rags in here, so I'm just going to get that in there, clean that out. I mean, any tips, guys, any tips you've got for me, anything you think I might be doing wrong, just let me know. Anything I could do better, I'm always there. But right, let's start putting these back in. So we'll start off with this one at the bottom. Start putting that back in. To be honest, I think I'm going to use the flat. I'm going to use the flat one on these. It seems to be a bit easier. So that's that one in there. Put that one in there. That one in there. Just bear in mind, guys, that this one at the top here is slightly smaller than the rest. So don't put that in the wrong place, or try putting one of the big ones in there, because yeah, it's not going to do it any good. That's that one. It's a bit difficult trying to show you at the same time as doing it. Keep slipping out the screws, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's that one. And then we've got another big one just here. I get a baby wipe out in a moment. Just clean all the reel casing, any of the grease that's come out. So I'm just gonna give this a bit of a clean up as well while I'm here. All this bit, because I'm about to put this bit away again. So give it all a bit of a I wipe down, clean my hands as well. Bit of grease that's come out there, let's tighten all that. I won't put the little one in yet, but we'll put that in a minute. It's a general keeping your reels clean. I mean, I've always got pride in my reels. I like the way they look, I want them to be clean, so for the sake of a baby wipe and a little wipe round after I've finished using it, I'm not really bothered. I'm just going to put this one down a sec, just to get this one in. This one seems a little bit awkward. There we go. That's that one in there. Alright, so that's that back together. So I'm going to put the bottom cover on now. If you remember, there was one in the handle which held this one on as well, just inside there. So if we slot that one back on there, and then if we get that, oh dear, my spring's just dropped out there, but we'll put that back in a sec. We know where that goes. So we'll put that one on there, put this one on there. It's because I just pushed that up. And if we turn that up like that, get the one out of the handle, put that back in. That's that back up there. And if we get this one on the back, this little one, put that in there. Tighten that up just there. Oh, that's my work phone, sorry guys. It's only a message coming through, that's all. Alright, so I can see the little slot there where that spring's meant to sit. So it sits that way around, I'm pretty sure it does. So we're going to slot that back inside there. And then put that back. Oh, so this might be a bit fiddly. So we may have to slide that up a little bit. It must sit around the back of there. So I can see where that sits now. So that sits just around the back of there. You try and push that in. Ooh. Alright, so as you can tell, this is the first time of me servicing it. The little things like this I wasn't aware that it was going to drop out, but so that is how in there. That must be up around the back of there. So if we just push that in like that. Right, when I attach this back on, we'll test that just to make sure. So we'll put the bail arm back on. So if I just hold that down there like that with my finger, push that back up there, get that screw. Just tighten that up there. That's that. Oops, let's just drop that down. Right, so that needs to come down a bit more by the looks of it. That don't seem to be catching on that spring anymore. Sorry. See on the other one. Yeah, so that needs to be, so that needs to sit the other side of that spring by the looks of it, so it pushes against that as it comes around. So we may have to take this top off now and let's have a go. So let's take the top off, and then after this we'll put the handle back on. We'll wind the shaft back out so we can put a bit of grease on the shaft as well. So as you can see, that spring just dropped out, which is for the back wind. So I'm going to take this top off, lift the back wind out, drop the back wind back in the right place with the spring. And I'll just have a, this is where all your bearings are inside there by the looks of it. So if I just drop that up a little bit and then drop that, Oh, I just flipped it back out again. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to take that off there. See that little spring there? I'm going to mine that out of the way. Put that just there. I'm then going to lift this up. Oh, I'm not going to be able to now. Oh, that's why, because I've tightened it back up. So let's undo that again. Take that bottom out. Just be careful. I don't want to drop any of them bearings out, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that out, slide that out, put this spring back. Yep, that's in there. So then let's try sliding this back in. Now it's covered in grease. That's not catching on there. Looks a bit discoloured in there. I might take that out as well and put a bit of grease in there. But so let's just sit that down there a minute. I think I might need to just get that spring up this side of it. How does it sit? Right guys, this bit here, this spring, if you ever have it fall out, it sits in the little runner there, but then on the actual back wind bit, it sits just there, look. It sits just in the little gap there. So when you turn the back wind on and off, but just be very careful because it seems to be very springy till you get that top back on. So let's put this top back on. Bear in mind, this is the first time I've serviced these reels, guys, so if you've got any tips for me, if you know of anything I'm missing that I could do better, just let me know. Drop me a message. If you'd say take these bearings out, for instance, and put a bit of grease in them, then just let me know. I'm always here. I'll always reply. Alright, so let's get that top back in. Ah, right, the clips are around there. So let's just change that around. Just pick that off a minute. There's the clips. So it needs to be in the other position. So let's change that over there. Put them in there. That's it. So now I need to get that spring. So let's just oh, don't drop out, don't you dare. Ah, it's dropped out. So I need to get that spring back into there. Oh, that's what I did last time. So as you can see, that spring is very, very tricky. So let's get some precision. So I'm just pressing that spring down now. I'm just going to put this top back on just to try and stop that moving, so I can secure that back as it was, and then I'm going to put the bail arm clip back in. But just let me tighten them down a minute. Ooh. So let's just get that in there. That spring is a little bugger, so if you have that pop out, you can see where it goes back. So it's not end of the world, as long as you obviously don't lose the spring, but yeah. It's a little bugger. And that's the top back on. Alright, let me just keep my bit of pressure on there a minute. Let's put this back wind back on, so we don't pop that spring out again. If it comes out, I'm going to cry. I will genuinely cry. It's a bloody nightmare to put back in. So that's that. There we go. See the spring working there now, look. I'll try and give you a closer view. So back in, back out, and that's your back wind. That's all working as it should. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's put the handle back in. Obviously I'm a lefty windy. I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to just clean these shafts up. Get my rag again. Clean them up. I'm just going to put a little slither of grease on there. Let's take a bit off. Just a little slither all around. So let's put the handle back in. Right, let's put the other side back on. Try not to do it too tight this time, so it makes it a bit easier to get off rather than me struggling. Right, so then what I'm going to do is, I noticed there was a little bit on this shaft just here, so I'm going to wind that up. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, fantastic. That feels lovely and smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that up there a minute. I'm just going to wipe that off as well. Just going to put a smithing of grease around there. Obviously that's in and out of there, so it's a moving part, isn't it? It's going in and out. So let's put a bit of grease on it. Just wind that in and out a few times, just to get the grease up and down. There we go. Lovely. So then, next bit was, so then we're going in with this back on, with the bail arm back on. So in there's nothing really to them. So I'm going to put that back on. It'll only go one way, like that. Let's get that nut back on. Remember, it's left to tighten, right to loosen. That's on there now, so I'm just going to tighten that up. Let's get my ratchet. I'm not going to do it too tight. Just to nip it, I think. There we go, just a nice little nip. Just make sure that turns alright. Yeah, that's lovely. So then, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my white back. Give all the spool a clean. The bail arm a clean. Just give it all a good wipe down. I'm just going to give the rest of the reel a wipe down, the handle a wipe down. Just clean it all up. Make it nice and shiny. Take pride in my reels. Clean all that up. I mean, each to their own. You want to make it as clean as you want to make it at the end of the day. But yeah, make these lovely. So then there's the little screw to put back in the top, just there. Which is this one, which goes in there. And if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what that does, but we'll put it back. Maybe stops that coming loose or something. So then we've got this one. This then goes back on there, and then like that. Ooh, there we go. So that's slid down there. I'm going to put a little bit of grease just inside there like that. I don't know if there's been any in there before, but we'll put a bit in anyway. Spool on top. Beautiful, went on lovely. Cap on top. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm just going to give the top of that spool a bit of a wipe out. Let's clean it all up. Just make sure it's nice and clean. Give the top a bit of a wipe. And I'm going to put this back on. Oh, my hands are a little bit slippy now. That's screwing down. Oh, so that's that. So that's the reel. That's all back together. Yep, I haven't done anything with the top bearing, but I've greased all the mechanisms up inside the bottom. And to be honest, that feels absolutely lovely. I'm quite happy with that, to be fair. So I don't know what whether I've done it right, whether I've done it wrong. That seems really nice. I'm happy with that. It's nice and clean. So there it is. That's me servicing my reel. The grease I've used, the tools I've used a flat blade screwdriver. I've used a posi screwdriver. I've not really used the little ones. I used some long nose pliers just to put that spring back in when it popped out, and a 12mm deep socket with a ratchet. So thank you very much for watching, guys. That's me servicing my reel. I've got 3 to do. That's the first one done, so I've got another 2 to do, and my spod reel, to be fair. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope it helps you in some way. Got any tips, got any advice, give us a shout. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.